I'm Diana McCullough.
Hey, I'm Andrew Rivamy.
And this is Fan vs. Fan for The Flash.
No super speed.
First, Caitlin's taken. Now Wells. Everybody's gonna realize sooner or later that I don't have my speed. I'm just a regular guy.
How are we gonna stop that guy?
The suit will only absorb one of Gray's punches. Anything more than that, you'll be like a piñata.
Please.
The Flash, all new this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
All right, so on tonight's episode of The Flash, we have the search for Jesse, the finding of Jesse, the role reversal of Jesse searching for Wells. We have Griffin just causing some general anarchy and becoming just old as hell. And throughout all of this, Killer Frost is murdered, and Wally wants to be appreciative of Barry. Let's get into it, though. Let's talk about the pros. So in tonight's episode, Diana, what did you like? What's a pro?
This is so dumb. I loved how Canadian that villain was.
Oh boy, was he ever Canadian.
I feel like it should be a con, but I loved it so much that I can't make it a con. I can't in my heart of hearts say that this is a con, that was the most Canadian man I've ever seen on television.
I do wonder, and please let us know in the chat, for Americans who watch the show. I mean, a lot of Americans, they know that this is filmed in Vancouver, but sometimes the villain of the week or like bit parts are just the most Canadian people, and this villain was so Canadian. The way he talked too, it was just
I feel like he was
I'll fight you out back behind the Tim Hortons. Like, it just really felt.
Oh yeah, boy. He was gonna take you down to the Tims and just like show you a good time.
Oh, I just want to be a young boy again, watching the Saskatoon Roughriders or wherever the hell the Roughriders are. I don't really know.
I don't know. Nobody knows. It's Canadian football.
I don't follow the CFL.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was even kind of familiar to me. I think I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But I didn't care that he was Canadian because it was probably Canadian shows.
Right.
But like, just the fact that this guy got a part on The Flash and was like, I definitely don't need to lose this deep Canadian accent. His character was even supposed to be from Central City. It's not like he's like, well, I came down from Canada to be in Central City.
Yeah.
Do they have Canada on Earth 1? I don't even know.
I assume that
They've never mentioned Canada.
I assume there's a Canada on Earth 1, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, and my other... That just amused the hell out of me. My other smaller pro is I think Caitlin's great as Killer Frost. I'm really sad she got killed.
Yeah.
Because now that Killer Frost is gone. That Caitlin.
Yeah. So am I. She was terrific. Well, all of the Earth 2 versions of them were all very good.
They were all really.
And she was just the only one left alive. So I'm like, yeah. Give me some more of that heat.
There's still Earth 2 Iris alive, and if she were to switch with other Iris...
that'd be real key.
I think her and Barry are the only ones alive, though. That's a good point, because Joe
got killed,
Cisco's dead, Caitlin's dead.
Yeah, now Caitlin's dead, too, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just Barry and Iris alive on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, I wish she was still Killer Frost. It was nice to get a touch of Killer Frost in this episode. I think it's a good character. I think it's a much more fleshed out version of Caitlin.
I totally agree.
I'm surprised the two of them didn't bond over the loss of their Ronnies.
Yeah, they didn't even mention the loss of their Ronnies.
They didn't even mention the loss of their Ronnies.
Instead, they talked about a brother we've never met because he doesn't exist on our Earth.
Yeah, that was some weird beats between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are my pros. What about you?
You know, one thing that I'll throw down as a pro, I kind of like how, pacing-wise, it makes for a weird episode, but I like how quickly Zoom gets things under control in his base. Like, when Killer Frost throws that icicle at Caitlin.
That was cool.
And the fact that he doesn't even go around Caitlin, going straight through her. He's like, I don't have time to go around shit. Like, something about the idea of just going straight through the person, catch, stab, and then, like, the threatening tone, and then he's just off doing some other stuff.
He seems really busy.
He's a busy dude.
Zoom never sticks around his own prison.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he does all day, because when that breach wasn't open, he was just hanging around on that base waiting for a breach to open.
Yeah.
But now he's, like, real busy.
Yeah.
Like, does he still go to work?
I don't think he ever had a job.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know what he does. I don't know where he's going all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, I do love that Zoom is like on top of things, even though he's not around. Although maybe he's just standing outside waiting for shit to go down. Maybe he's just around the corner.
That might be part of it as well.
Trying to feel important.
Just trying to seem like he's busy. Yeah. He's got nothing to do all day. He's sitting in a chair just out of view of Caitlin, being like, if stuff goes down, I'm going to act like I'm gonna act like I totally had meetings all day.
I'm gonna grab a briefcase. It's full of Twinkies, but she doesn't know. I'm gonna go to work.
Yeah, that's my only thing. I kind of like how they're playing this layer and how they're playing Zoom as the like in and out. I've got stuff to do, but I really have this base on lockdown. Like, that was kind of a fun dynamic, and it was good seeing Killer Frost.
Oh, actually, you know what? He did say that he has brought this Earth to its knees.
Yeah.
That would, I mean, I haven't seen that, but if he's out doing that,
maybe he's out doing that, but it did feel like a weird line of being like, I haven't seen that, and I don't necessarily believe that you have. I believe you've caught some general chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Real general chaos.
Lots of chaos.
But I don't feel like you brought that world to its knees.
No,
that's not happening.
No, I agree.
Another pro that I will throw down, though, that I do really like, I'm kind of enjoying the turn of Wally's character. He's growing on me more and more every single week. Something about it's almost a trivial plot point that he appreciates the Flash, but something about it adds a lot of power to his character, or at least someone who's more sympathetic that I want to get super speed eventually, of being like, oh, you're appreciative, you're courteous, you are happy and want to go out of your way to make sure the Flash knows that you're grateful for how this all played out. I think that adds a lot.
I agree. I thought that was a really nice beat for Wally. It made me less worried about when he eventually gets super speed, because when they were building him up as like the guy who likes fast cars and danger, I was like, it's gonna be real annoying when you get super speed.
Yeah, but now I'm like, oh, you're gonna be like a fun nice guy.
Yeah,
I like a fun nice guy.
They're developing him nicely to be appreciative. He's gonna be a hero. I think he's gonna be great at it now. I would still like him to be funnier and snarkier.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be Wally West.
Yeah,
like that is nice. A funny man, and I'm not laughing too much at Wally.
No, not
and
laughing.
He's not even sad anymore. Like when you introduce a guy while his mom's dying, you're like, okay, you can be not funny.
Yeah, you'll get that funny back.
But it's been a long time, and now he's in a good place, and he's
not
still
coming
not
back.
very funny.
All right, well, let's get into the cons then. Let's talk about it. What's the problem? All right, so cons. Tonight's episode. What didn't you like, Diana?
It was pretty boring.
Yeah, it was a pretty boring episode. Poorly paced.
Poorly paced, and just, I think if Barry doesn't have powers, there's just nothing to do. Like,
I think there's plenty to do, and they're not doing it. Is part of the problem. Like, it feels like the whole search for Jesse first act was a bit of a waste.
Yeah, there was no need for it.
No
like, I think
point
it was
to
just
it.
to get Wells out of town, but was so unnecessary. I guess he
'Cause
never
Wells-
leaves Star Lab, though.
I guess, yeah. He could have just been saying, like, oh, you know what? I feel like I can put a hood on and maybe go out to the store and been kidnapped.
Maybe I'll go get drunk because my daughter's missing. Like, go to a bar.
Yeah, but and it makes it all pointless because he finds Jesse, but they then find Jesse again in the second act. So he finds her. He gets kidnapped on the way back from them, and it wasn't Jesse lives at this apartment in this address. Yes, they use some clues from the fact that he visited her, but they're still like, all right, let's solve this from zero again. Where could we possibly find Jesse? So we solved the same puzzle twice, which is a weird pacing and explains why about 25 minutes into the episode I was like, oh, this episode just started. What the what? Like, it was really weird pacing.
It was weird pacing, and also like there was no reason for the team to solve this. Like, this was a police matter at this point.
Yeah.
Like, Barry doesn't have powers. There's no reason for him to be doing
Where is
any
the
of this.
meta-human task force?
There is a meta-human task force, and a meta-human has captured a human, and Barry doesn't have powers.
Yes.
This is a prime case for the meta-human task force.
They don't care no more.
It wasn't just Patty. Patty wasn't... That's a task woman if Patty was
Patty was the only person who cared on that whole task force.
But the police have proven that they don't just rely on the Flash. They're trying to be self-sufficient. And just the fact that their plan was Barry in a Flash suit with no powers. I'm like, you're super unqualified. Joe's a cop. Like, he should be in the Flash suit, really.
Yeah. And his plan was just to absorb punches because we can tire him old. And it really seemed like their plan was like, what if we just tired him to death? And then he olded himself young again? What happened? That makes no sense. They didn't cut to that. That kid is not in their crazy prison. He's not in the particle accelerator prison.
Oh, he was
He's
still
not
young
in
and
regular
dead,
jail.
wasn't he?
Was he young and dead?
I think he was young and dead.
Well, then why was he dead? Like, they could have just showed the old... They cast a new kid. They cast a new kid for dead. That's what I don't understand. I thought the implication there was like, oh, don't worry, our hero didn't just kill a person. He's young and cured now.
He didn't kill him, though. He killed himself by being violent. That's not Flash.
That's like saying the bullets killed him. Like, no, like...
No, because his punching was killing himself. He could just stop punching people.
So, Barry, stop punching yourself to death, that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Still, that was nonsense.
It was-
What the hell
it
was
was
that? He olded himself young and dead, maybe alive? They cast a new kid for that shot. What the hell does any of that even mean? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But yeah, I think he's dead. He died in the comics of his old age.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he was dead.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. So he was dead. So we got weird pacing. Wells finding Jesse. He gets kidnapped. They find Jesse again. We got the whole weird Griffin storyline, which just kind of goes nowhere. The Caitlin thing. In all honesty, I forgot Killer Frost was alive on Earth 2. We could have just never showed her again. Dedicating an entire C plot to killing off a character we forgot about feels really unnecessary. And I mentioned before, like in the pros, I'm happy that she was there. But to be there for an episode where she's killed...
But like doesn't help Caitlin escape or learn anything.
Nothing.
She didn't learn any new information.
Right back where the episode started by the end
really
of it.
pointless
Yeah.
when you put it that way.
She could have just escaped on her own, been somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, they could have had Caitlin been like, hey, Zoom, where's Killer Frost? I thought you kidnapped her. She got away. Leave that ace in the hole. Writers, leave that little ace in the hole for later. Use that later and give it an arc. Why? An episode to end right where it started.
Yeah, so really nothing happened in this episode. You think we
Nothing.
got Speed back?
Nope.
Well, I mean, we got Jesse back.
Jesse back is the only thing, but I never understood why she was gone to begin with, because they never explained that well.
She lives in a tiny little cot room with her dad. She needed some space.
Now, this was the first episode we saw that cot room.
No, we saw it before.
We saw it before?
But the first time we saw it, they had just arrived on Earth 1, and I was
Okay.
like, that's a temporary arrangement.
Right.
This is, we got some cots in the basement, we'll figure out something
Right,
later.
right.
But like months later, and that's still where you're staying?
Yeah, now that she's back, I understand the writing of her leaving more when we see that room, and I'm like, and it's like, oh, welcome back, Jesse, where you belong, on cot bed next to your dad.
Really tiny,
Oh, that's
too.
a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
Get her out of there.
Yeah,
Get her out of there.
You have so many prison rooms. You don't
Yeah.
have enough space for 2 cot beds in different rooms?
Boy, you got to get more cot beds.
You gotta get more cot beds. And also, I felt like this episode was a real waste of the Barry doesn't have powers storyline. Just because, like, I've seen it done better. I didn't feel like he learned anything, really. I didn't think he
Right.
needed these pep talks. It was...
No.
But I don't really know what I wanted from this storyline, because I feel like Barry doubts himself so much that this was just, tiring.
I wanted an all-out war of super guns. That's what I wanted. Why is it not like SWAT Team for Star Labs? Because they all have got crazy guns. Cisco has forgotten crazier guns than the craziest gun you'll ever imagine.
He made a gold gun in like 3 hours.
Turns people to gold. He created alchemy.
In 3
They
hours.
should all have the craziest guns. And it should be like 4 of them going in for an all-out war with the craziest guns imaginable.
Yeah, if you had attacked Grey Griffin with
Yeah.
a gold gun,
Yeah.
be toast. There'd be
Yeah.
no taking.
All right, well, let's. That's it for the cons, but let's get into it. Let's get into the Easter eggs. All right, Easter eggs on tonight's episode. Diana, what did you find?
All right, well, Grey Griffin is a comic book character.
Yep.
He was actually roommates with the fourth. Is Bart the fourth Flash? Bart was the fourth Flash. Bart
Okay.
Allen. So Bart Allen was Impulse, then he was Kid Flash, then he was the Flash.
Okay.
So Grey Griffin was a roommate with his in college. He got powers from a bomb.
Okay.
And he tried to be a hero, and then this kind of same thing happened to him. He got
Right.
just old from his powers, and he died.
Okay.
They couldn't fix him, which is sad.
Powers from a bomb. How does one just get general? Just
You know
You know
it's
what?
like the Hulk.
you know what? Never mind.
The Hulk got powers from a bomb.
Sure,
You know.
those bomb powers.
Bomb powers.
Yeah, that was gamma radiation, not necessarily the bomb.
Well, I'm
Not
sure there
just
was
general
something
bomb
in the
powers.
bomb. It wasn't a general bomb.
Oh,
But
okay,
anyway,
okay.
And then the other big one in this episode, Easter egg, was Ace Chemicals. So Ace Chemicals is where they went. And yes, that's a big one in Batman stuff. So this is
Yes.
where Joker, as the Red Hood, gets turned into the Joker.
Ah.
And then Ace Chemicals just comes up all the time. It's in the Arkham games. It's huge. It's in
Yeah.
Batman the animated series. It's around. You've seen it.
Yeah, it's good. Like, we need another company to go to that isn't Wayne Enterprises or LexCorp. It's Ace Chemicals.
It's Ace Chemicals.
Yeah.
We need someone to fall into a vat to become a supervillain. It's gonna be Ace Chemicals. They have a real, like, no lids on vats policy over at Ace Chemicals.
Right.
And those are all my Easter eggs for this
Okay,
episode.
okay.
Just a light one, but we've seen a lot of stuff now. So.
Right. Well, let's get into what some people are saying. Well, first of all, Dave Folmsby, chatting again. First of all, saying Zoom's just murdering dudes, and that's his day job. So Zoom,
bringing the
murder
world
is your
to
day
its
job.
knees.
I really like that as a catchphrase for a villain. I feel like that should be like on Zoom's shirt. Just murder is my day job. That's a bumper sticker. That's a bumper sticker. Yeah, you can't tell me that's not catchy.
It's very whimsical.
And terrifying at this. Yeah, terrifyingly
But
whimsical.
also with like that kind of super speed, when you say bring the world to its knees, I feel like you can do it really literally and just like punch people in the knee as you run by them and just.
Oh wow!
Everyone's
This is
down.
why you could never be trusted to be a villain or the person naming people.
I'd be the literal villain.
Yeah, you could
My
never
villain
be.
name would be literal.
You could never be like even the Cisco. You couldn't be a villain. You couldn't even be the Cisco that names people because it'll be like, oh, what happened with that encounter? I think he's got super speed. I don't know. I wasn't looking, and then he just like punched me in the knee puncher. His name's Knee Puncher. We're gonna name him Knee Puncher.
He brings the world to its knees.
I
Got
didn't
it.
even
Knee
finish
puncher.
the story. No, Knee Puncher.
good.
Yeah, you're just running with the first thing.
I run.
All right.
I'm a runner.
And Dave also saying that the idea of let's explode the particle accelerator again proves that they've learned nothing, considering that this whole episode was about another villain created by an exploded particle accelerator.
The ratio of good guys to bad guys made by that particle
Real slim.
accelerator is
Real
pretty.
slim.
Because I think we've had like Ronnie and Dr. Stein
Yeah.
and any other good guys made by the particle accelerator.
I think we just got that.
I mean, that one girl, Plastique, was gonna be good, but they killed her.
Yeah.
She was a good guy, but she died.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else.
No one else really went good. So it's a real low number, and now the end of this episode of the.
Oh, Cisco's a metahuman.
I guess yeah, Cisco, yeah.
That's real fortunate. The only other good metahuman was his friend?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's random.
Yeah, it's pretty weak. So they shouldn't do another particle accelerator. They should not blow up another one. Yeah, the whole episode is like, oh man, like people are even like killing the wrong people because of this particle accelerator crap. This is real rough. And they still got that velocity formula that they haven't perfected.
They haven't used it
Are we not going to bring that
But
up
she
this
did
episode?
Perfect it. Caitlin perfected it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. She finally
It's
made it work,
good.
and it wasn't going to hurt Jay. Or who turned out to be Hunter.
Yeah.
Who might yet turn out to be Jay.
Complicated
So, real complicated stuff.
But we're going to blow up this particle accelerator and Barry will get his powers back. Maybe Wally will walk in because there's no security at Star Labs and also get super speed.
Yep. Yeah. And we got and as well we have what do we got here? Zoom doesn't seem much different after stealing Barry's speed.
I don't know. He ran right through Caitlin, but he was already like max speeded out. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't time travel very much.
I
though.
mean, I will give that. It was the commenter Kyle. I will give that to Kyle. Like that to phase through your entire body through another body, I think is some next level stuff. Because typically anytime like the Flash or Zoom phases through something, it's like, I'm going to phase my arm through this table. Oh boy, look at it go. It's never just a like, I'm straight up Kitty Pryde level intangible. I am not at all worried, you know?
On this show, it's been like that. In the comics, they just zoom through everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where else he would have had to go with the super speed. I feel
Okay.
like it was just an addiction at that point. He was just like, you can be coked out and still want more coke. You're like, that's
Do you think he'll OD on the super speed at some point?
That's probably something they might do. He'll just turn to dust.
But also, that's how they try to take out a lot of the villains. They're like, what
that's
if
how
we,
Trajectory
what
died.
if we over themselves? Like,
yeah, what if we old this guy until he dies of old age?
Yeah,
Just happened.
he's going old and he's getting strong. What do? We let him old and strong his way out of this one. Oh, you control an electrical grid. What about more electricity? It's always the villain of the week plan of being like, what if we gave you a little bit too much for your own good? Yeah, that gets a little tiresome. And we have Daniel Tamer bringing up the guy in the mask. Who do we think he is? So we still don't know who the guy in the mask is. That's all I wanted out of tonight's episode. I just wanted for someone to be like, and this is the... I wouldn't have even cared if that was the last 10 seconds of this episode. If just Zoom ran into the room and was like, oh, by the way, this is this dude. Just gone.
The fact that Killer Frost has been sitting across from him for months and doesn't care, has been ignoring his messages for months about who he is. Like, wow, that is some real disinterest. Like, you guys could have at least been playing like tic-tac-toe on the wall.
Anything.
A little bit of Hangman. I don't know. Like, have some kind of dialogue. The fact that she didn't know was pretty irritating.
Yeah.
But also, we have our theories. I think we both are pretty sure it's Zoom's dad.
Yes. It's
Which I think is
Zoom,
a lame reveal.
Hunter Zolomon, Jay Garrick's dad.
Because he was a POW war guy, so he would know the POW codes,
Yep.
which is what he's tapping.
Yeah.
He would have written out Jay. His name was James. He probably goes by Jay.
Yeah.
So we think it's dad, which we think is lame, but we don't know for sure. That's our guess.
But I'm guessing dad too, because especially when we get the episode where last episode when we get to see Hunter Jay's backstory, and they cast someone as the father figure, so I assume that like making that kind of a casting decision to give that kind of a background, I feel like is not necessarily going to be a one-off episode casting decision.
And
I think they're going to keep that actor around, and
and we're
see
also
more.
jumping to that scene a lot in Jay's head.
Right.
So we're cutting to that actor
lot of
quite a
emphasis.
bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we think that's him.
Okay.
We got any more?
Kyle wanting to know what about Gorilla City? What about?
I don't think Zoom has brought Gorilla City to its knees. I'm just gonna point that out right now. If Zoom has taken over Gorilla City, we are all doomed, sir.
That's true. That's
This
true.
is a great question. Let's
I love
release
that.
Gorilla City against Zoom.
Oh God, I love that idea. I just love the idea of Zoom being like, I've brought this Earth to its knees. The scene we see cuts away, and then there's a moment. He's like, except goddamn Gorilla City. Oh,
They will not bow to me.
oh! They made a big statue of Grodd. I can't even go.
He has to build like another breach and send all the gorillas to yet another world. He's like, you guys are going to Earth 3.
He's like, I'm going to take over all of the Earths, except that one that I send all of those Gorilla Grods to. Because, boy, they will not cave. They just won't cave. They just won't cave. I try kidnapping their loved ones. They don't care. They're mostly gorilla. They don't have loved ones or possessions. They're just like, I like food and punching. And you can't negotiate with food punches.
And you'd think I could just not care, but then every now and then Grodd like armies them against me.
It's crazy.
It's
It's
worse.
crazy. You can't stop
I would
that.
love to watch that episode. Thank you for that question, Kyle.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, I think that's everything
we're
now
gonna
for this episode. But that was a lot of fun. Please tune in next week and tweet along with us using hashtag FanBFan and join the live chat. We'll talk about your comments, your questions, whatever it is that you got on your mind. Come back next week and check it out. And be sure to subscribe to Dorkshelf below.
You can follow Dorkshelf on Twitter at Dorkshelf. You can find us at FromSuperheroes.com, this website we run. And you can find great FanBFan content on the Dorkshelf channel. We also do Game of Thrones FanBFan. Well, Dorkshelf does, not us. But it's a great show. You don't want to miss it. So that's it for us. I'm Diana McCall.
I'm Andrew Ivanme.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Kicked him out.